Good morning, Bomber Nation, and welcome back. Gosh, it's so great to see you guys. Last March when we went home for spring break, I never would have thought we would be off this long. Welcome all the new students of Bomber Nation. Welcome you sophomores up the hill. You're in a great place, and we're ready for you. I have a few things to visit with you about this morning. This week's schedule, we will meet each day, Monday through Thursday, in advisory first thing. We have a lot of things to go over with you guys, and our advisors have that information, and you may hear things 2 or 3 times, but it's okay. You're going to need to. I know I do. It's all new, guys. It's a new day, but we're here at Bomber Nation, and we're going to make it work. Students that have ASU classes this week that are on their campus, at the Tech Center, or on their campus, we're not going to have those classes. You do not have to attend those this week. Some of those classes are live, and some of those classes are running different schedules, and it doesn't match up. We feel like it's more important for you to be here on our campus as a student and be learning from what we're talking about and asking questions. This is going to be a big week of learning here at Mountain Home High School. This week, one of the main things we want to do is get to know each other again, as we haven't been around each other in a while, and so we want to talk about what's been going on with you, what you did over the summer, how things are going, what you're involved in. We want to get to know you as a student, so we're going to take a lot of time in advisory to do that. We will also talk about that little word COVID during the week, and as you know, it has pretty much dominated a lot of our lives over the last several months. But here at Mountain Home High School, we are committed to resilience. And so what that means is we're going to meet it head on every day, and we're going to defeat that COVID. And we're going to have a great year. And so when we talk about things, we'll talk about the tiers. And so we have a 3-tier system. And so those 3 tiers coincide with the state. And it's really easy. It's like a stoplight. So now we're operating in tier 1, which is green, and that means that we're good to go. We'll check a few temps at the door. We'll wear our mask and social distance, but the COVID risk is extremely low at this time here at the high school, and in the state. Then if we have to, we'll go to yellow, and that would mean that somewhere in the state there may be some cases or more cases than what we're comfortable with in the state, but there may not be any cases at all here in Mountain Home. And so Mountain Home School District will make the call on how deep we go into the yellow tier. If we start having a lot of cases here and we're seeing some things that we know it would be better off for you guys to be at home, we will start halving the number of students on campus by alphabet. And so we would have some of you at home online and the other half here at school. Of course, the third color, red, that means that it's imminent. We have COVID in the area and you guys will all be at home. But your instruction will continue. That's a good time to segue into Canvas. You're going to hear that word a lot too this year. Canvas is a platform that Mountain Home School Districts have bought for you guys to get your homework on. And so the ideal is for us to have seamless education. And so if you do have to go home, you'll continue your classes and your teachers will continue teaching you as if you were in the classroom. So every day, your teacher's going to upload things to Canvas. And so that's going to be up to you, your responsibility to check on that and to work with your individual teacher on how that's going to work in your classroom. The main thing is we're all learning Canvas, and the word grace is going to be used a lot this year. Our expectations are for our teachers to use it and for you to use it, but at the same time, we're all in the learning phase. And so we're going to make mistakes. We're going to have questions. If you don't ask questions when you have one, that's more of a mistake than when you do make one. So ask questions. One thing I'd like to talk about that's going to be different from last spring are the expectations. When you're online, at home, whether you're a BVA student in a blended classroom, or a seated student when we're sent home, if we get sent home. Your work will be done the next class, or will be due the next class period. That means, or whenever the teacher expects it to be done. If you remember in the spring, we gave everyone a break, okay? Everyone deserved a break then. But this fall, our expectations are for you to have that work completed whenever your teacher requires it to be completed. So your grades can suffer if you don't do your work at home. Our expectation is for you to get that done. Let's say you're a BVA student or a blended student and you're at home and your question is, when do I log in and visit with my teacher, or is my teacher going live? So what we've done, we've asked each of your teachers to get with you individually, get with your classes, and make that decision with each individual. I would imagine it would need to be done sometime during that class period or later in the day during office hours. We've asked that our teachers check in with those students daily during the class time and to see how they're doing. And so that will be determined by your individual teacher as to when you will log in. Make sure that you all have Chromebooks today. The tech office or room is open. It's in the 100 hallway, and so make sure you have your Chromebooks. Make sure that they're working before you leave campus. Also, those of you who want school supplies, after this meeting is over, we're going to start calling you guys out by alphabet, by your last name. And if you want school supplies, they are available in the library. And so we have plenty of them. If you don't get them today or you run out during the year, check with our librarian first before you go out and buy school supplies. As far as your schedules go, I need you to tear up your old schedule and use the schedule that your advisor gave you this morning, okay? Because that's the latest schedule, even though it may have been right. Our counselors have asked for you to discard the old schedule and use the one that you have given to you this morning in advisory. Our engineering class this week will be on campus. You'll start next week at the bomb shelter. Shuttles for ASU Mountain Home and the Tech Center will start next week. You guys will meet out back. First shuttle will leave at 7:45. One or two more things here. Our goal is to have as much of a normal year as possible. In order to do that, we're all going to have to follow the guidelines set forth by CDC, by the state of Arkansas, and our school district. And so I'm asking you to wear your mask daily, to always have one on when you're within 6 feet of people. This morning, I did notice several of you outside before school that were 6 foot away from people and just sitting by yourself on a bench. You don't have to wear your mask in. You guys are going to need to learn how to take mask breaks. At school, it's okay to not have it on if you're outside 6 foot away. Those squares out in the courtyard, they're right at 6 feet. So if you're on the corner of one of those squares and you're talking to your buddy, that's about 6 foot. If you feel comfortable with taking your mask off, take it off. Because we're all going to need those breaks during the day. And also that brings up another point. Your teachers are going to have those times that they take you outside and take mask breaks. We want to continue to have our events and our activities. I feel like that is what draws most of you to school. It's what you do, all the fun stuff that we do up here at school. We will start off in a more restrictive environment to start the school year. And when all of this start catching on and it becomes part of our culture to social distance and wear a mask, then we will loosen up and start having, some of our larger meetings and club gatherings and things like that. All right. That's about all I have to say this morning. I'm going to send out a survey right after this meeting to each and every one of you. If you have any other questions that we don't address or need any more information on anything, please fill that survey out. We're going to visit with you first thing tomorrow morning. I'm going to move it over to Mr. Morris, Ms. Russell.
Hey, good morning, everyone. Welcome back. It was good to see you this morning on our campus. I know you were smiling up underneath the mask as I was doing the same to you. It's good to see you back, and we're going to get this thing rolling. What I want to talk about this morning is just a few regulations, rules and regulations that we have here at Mount Homa High School. Actually, we don't have anything that's changed from last year except the COVID requirement. So I just want to touch base on a couple of things. One, in the cafeteria, to help follow the rules of social distancing, we will have X's on the seats in the cafeteria that you are not allowed to sit in. So they will be placed there at lunch and before school. Please do not sit on those X's. Also, when you're in line for lunch, make sure that you are 6 feet apart. We will have 2 lines. Because of the COVID requirements, we're not going to have a salad or a soup bar this year. So we're just going to have 2 lines, and just make sure you keep your distance while you're waiting to get your lunch. All right, I want to talk about our dress code. It's been a long time since this has been addressed, since March of last year. A couple of things. We do not allow any holes in the jeans or the shorts above the knee. So if you have any of those that reveal skin, then we're going to ask you not to wear those at school. Shorts and skirts, the length of those need to come within a dollar bill of the top of the knee, so check yourself. I guess this affects the females more than it does males because of the athletic shorts that our females wear. Just check yourself in the morning. If you're contemplating, is it too short or not, that probably kind of gives you an answer that you probably need to save that attire for after school. So let's talk about cell phones. We do allow cell phones here in between classes. Each teacher will have their own policy about the use of the cell phone in class. Some teachers just tell you to just power it off. Some teachers have little trays for you to put them in. Just follow the teacher's policy on that and you'll be fine. You cannot have those out unless a teacher gives you permission to have those cell phones out. So make sure you understand the policy this first week and we won't have any trouble with that. The issue that we did have last year though comes to the earbuds and the headphones. We do allow those before school and we do allow those at lunch. Those are the only 2 times that we want to see those. Several of you have the AirPods that are wireless that walk around. We do not want to see those in transition in between classes. Make sure you put those away. Help us out on that and everything will be okay. Another thing that I want to talk about is hats. We do not allow hats inside the building. It's okay to have your hat at school. You can wear it outside, but once you enter that building, please make sure you remove that hat. So let's move on to tardies. We do have the same policy, I think, that we used last year, and it's very helpful if you use it correctly. If you're late to first period, sometimes we're just running late, or the car didn't start, or you had to take your brother to school or sister to school, and you're running late, we do allow your parents to call in and excuse 4 of your tardies in the morning per semester. So make sure you use those wisely. So if you are late to school, you do have to sign in the office. You have to get a pink slip to take to your teacher to show that you did sign in. And just make sure your parents call in by noon of that day. If they do not call in, then we do expect you to be in detention hall for that tardy. All right, here's a biggie, and I don't know if our students are ready for all this, but we are not accepting any food deliveries this year by businesses or parents. That is not our rule, that is the state rule, that we have to cut down on the amount of people that comes in and out of our office. So until further notice, there's no food deliveries from parents or businesses. And talking about the office, you'll see signs up on our office door, 1 person at a time. You must have a mask on to come in the office, and you must use hand sanitizer before you enter. Just think about it, about all the traffic that we have in our main office. We have those guidelines to help protect Miss Shannon and Cindy and Sheila in the office. So make sure you just be respectable, be patient, and we will get to you. I will say this that is different this year. All classes will and must have a seating chart. So class and students, if a teacher tells you to sit over here, that's exactly where you need to sit. So just be patient with us on that. We'll work through it. But we will have seating charts. Ms. Russell will talk about some our water fountain issues and how we can overcome that. I do want to talk about detention hall. We have detention hall here at the high school, and it's during your lunch period. The location of that detention hall area has changed. It will be in room 412. That is actually just a couple of doors down from where our detention hall location in the cafeteria was last year. So 412 for detention hall. And kind of give you an idea about the expectations. If you get a detention hall assigned to you before lunch, you go to detention hall that day. If you get a detention hall assigned to you after lunch, you go the next day. If you're unclear about that, please ask your teachers and they will help you out. We do have some more areas that you can go to during lunch to help spread out our kids. You can be in the cafe, you can go outside to the pavilion, you can go to the library, and this year we're going to allow you to come out to the courtyard. We'll have several picnic tables for you out there, so make sure you use that. You get to be outside. If you're 6 feet apart, you can take off your mask. So we're trying to spread you out a little bit, and I think you'll enjoy that. A thing that we need to talk about is outside drinks in the building. We saw several of those this morning. If you're bringing an outside drink, please finish it before you come into the front door. We do not allow outside drinks to be brought in and consumed during the day unless it's water or a water bottle. So either throw those away at the front door or put them inside your backpack, not on the pocket on the outside of your backpack, but on the inside where you can have that at lunch. And 2 other things that I got is, one, your parking pass. If you're going to drive on campus this year, make sure you go see Miss Shannon to get your parking permit. We'll get those assigned and park in your assigned location. It's a domino effect when you park on somebody else's, because then they have to park in somebody else's and they have to park in somebody else's. So just make sure we got plenty of spots this year. Get your pass and park in there. And the last thing that I want to talk about, and hopefully we won't ever have anybody in these situations, is ISS, Tier 4, or OSS. If you are in one of those during the school day, you are not allowed to participate or attend in any after-school activity. So if you get suspended from school, we do not want to see you at the ball game that night. So just make sure you don't get one of those consequences and we'll all be fine. That's going to wrap it up for me. Welcome back. It's good to see you. And I'm going to turn it over to my partner, Miss Russell.
Good morning, everybody. It was so nice to see you this morning in the courtyard and coming through the building. And I hope you are as excited to be back as we are to see you. These guys have talked about almost everything on my list, but I do have a few things that I want to touch base with you on. As Mr. Morris has already mentioned, the water fountains are off, but we do have, you may have noticed, these handy little water bottle refilling stations scattered throughout. So if you brought a water bottle to school today, they will refill your bottle really quickly. I do encourage you to either bring a water bottle or buy one that you can refill, because that's going to be the fastest way. In the cafeteria in the past, you were able to get a cup of water or tea or Kool-Aid with your lunch, and we're not going to be able to do that this year. So do bring something so that you can get water throughout the day. Another thing is we're not doing lockers. So you're going to have to be really responsible this year about bringing the right book on the right day. And I know I've heard from several of you over the weekend, last week, this morning, you're confused about the new schedule. So be sure that you ask your teachers, what's the schedule? It's not even odd anymore. Every Monday and Wednesday is going to be what used to be an odd day. So we're calling odd days A days, and we're calling even days B days. So I know it seems confusing right now, but make sure that you go over this with your teachers. So every Monday and Wednesday are what used to be odd days. Every Tuesday and Thursday are what used to be even days. And then we alternate on Fridays. So this first week of school would be like an odd Friday. So this week you'll have the same class, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. If you're confused, ask one of your teachers, and within a few days you're going to get this straightened out. I promise. Sounds complicated, but it isn't. So if you have any questions about that, make sure that you clear that up with your AAP teacher or any of your teachers today before you leave. And we will show you a little grace this first couple of days if you show up to class with the wrong book. Another thing that is different is the bus loading schedule. So for you guys that ride a bus, the first loading, so we're not going to do shuttle buses anymore. And you may have figured this out if you got to school. I think some of you got dropped off at like 6:52 this morning. So welcome, you beat me to school. But it's going to be a little bit different in the afternoon as well. So I just sent out the bus loading schedule to the teachers, and they're going to be able to tell you like which buses are leaving from out back this afternoon and which ones of you need to go to the cafeteria. So just make sure if you're in doubt and you walk out back, you forget today and you're like, oh, my bus isn't here, then you're just going to go to the cafeteria because your bus will be here. So if you have any questions about that, you can ask your teacher. And teachers, I've attached that to the first day AAP document that Mrs. Chapman sent out. ID badges. It is very important that you wear your ID badges. You can't eat lunch without your ID badge. You can't check out books. It's going to be essential that you wear your ID badges. So make sure that you have those on. And I think that's all I have. Can you guys think of anything else?
I've got one or two more things. Guys, I need to talk about this just a little bit. You guys are old enough to self-monitor yourself as far as knowing when you feel bad or when you feel sick, and also check your temperature at home. As you saw this morning, there will be many mornings while we're in green that we will check temperatures as needed. If you have a temperature at home though, if you feel bad, feel like you're sick, get your parents and you guys take care of business. Don't come to school sick. If you know you're sick, do not come to school sick. Also, and your parents have all this information, and I'm sure you've heard it 1,000 times between when we got out of school and now, that if you have COVID-related symptoms or if you have been exposed to COVID, you have to be at home for at least 14 days. And the sooner that you recognize that and the sooner that's detected, the better off we'll all be. So once again, if you feel bad, don't come to school. Have your parents give us a call. They need to let us know what's going on. All right, one more thing I'd like to do is invite everyone out tonight to the Lady Bombers volleyball game. We will be taking on Harrison, and I think the varsity will start around 7 o'clock, and JV probably starts around 5. I hope to see everyone out there rooting on our Bombers.
Have a great day.